my next door neighbour probably would have been a step up forward I played with. So you're probably better suited to give some decent examples.
The guy's coming at you off a ruck and he's, coming a million miles an hour. He doesn't care that your girlfriend broke up with you last week or that you failed an exam. Like, he's going to run straight over you.
I'm putting my foot down. Yeah, there's no way I'm being easy.
Well, I personally would like to see Creole being left behind.
3 go, 2 return.
We're going to be doing a running straight challenge on this island between yourself and me. I'm going to do a run straight challenge with Ronaldo, and now I'm potentially being eaten. What have I done wrong in this podcast? Well, welcome back, everybody, and welcome back, Wes, and a big welcome to former SS Schools player Brian, our guest for today. Brian, welcome.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. Wes, nice to meet you.
Before we start quizzing Brian about the background, Wes, are you finished gallivanting?
I am. Yeah, no, it was so tough. Someone's got to go out to Zambia and see all those wonderful places. So I'm also in hospitality out now there at the moment. So working with a tourism conservation.
Hospitality is generous. Yes. He was at all these lodges experiencing the hospitality. I don't think you're flipping too many
So I can talk about it properly, Steve. Like, there's got to do field ops. So I was in Zambia for the last 12 days or so, which was very lekker. So in South Luangwa, out to the Kafui, down to Lower Zam. Yeah, and Boki's international now. You'll get to meet Boki later. Yeah. But Boki's been out for a bit. I think we've got a picture of that. It was good fun.
Ronaldo did tell me to remind you about the lack of videos that we did get on his world tour, but we'll get into that when we get to the loose chair. And then Brian, big welcome. Well, just tell us a bit about yourself. Obviously, an interesting rugby career, rugby union, but rugby league, playing SS Schools with our captain, Siya Kolisi.
Yeah.
We'll give us a quick breakdown of the background and what you do now as well.
So fortunate to leave school, play a bit of league in Oz, and ended up in Sydney, which was quite cool, and playing with the Sydney Roosters. So that was a good change, very different to Union, but very fun. But you'll know from your Sevens background that it's kind of similar, but a bit more space. Yeah. But yeah, very fun. And then ended up getting injured over there after about 2 years. So came back here, played at the Kings and did a small stint at the Lions, just like a little Currie Cup season, and then moved to the Kings and then finished at SWD in 2015.
And now in the restaurant hospitality industry.
Yeah, now just moved back to Joburg, which was a big adjustment, I think, from like the different cities I've lived in, but very cool, and coming under my parents' wing and my sister as well. So I've been very lucky to be able to work with them and kind of learn from, I suppose, the voice you've been hearing growing up and all of that. And so in hospitality, and it's been fun. It's been a good learning curve.
Cool. Well, every week we're going to try and up the rugby royalty we have. So we're sorry that every single time we come and bring new rugby players, not always going to be the only rugby player here. And we'll wait and see if producer James is another run it straight challenge. Because in case you missed it, the one last week was that Ronaldo would run over me, which I vehemently deny.
Around you for sure.
That's what I said. I said around me 100%. But I mean, he's weighing in about 80 odd kgs. He's not running over the tighter version of. I mean, I was at the block training earlier, and I definitely start to these days resonate more with Carlu and Thomas than Marnie and the lads. Yeah. But chaps, no international rugby, but plenty to talk about in terms of what's to come. So let's get into the breakdown. Well, let's get into it. The All Blacks named a 44-man squad and a couple of debutants. Obviously, everybody coming down, I think it's this weekend apparently. I think they leave on Saturday. Might be waiting at the box at the airport who are leaving on Saturday evening as well. So it's was 34 during the Nations Championship, up to 44, and now sort of heading over. Big talking point, I don't want to go too much into the squad itself, but an interesting talking point is that Ardie Savea has not come down and said they want to try and refresh him and keep him nice and fresh for the tour. Basically, will be coming down 10 days before the first test. So as a result, Codie Taylor has actually been named the tour captain. Brian, you've been in squads and the likes of that, and a bit of travelling, stuff like that. The importance of captains off the field. I mean, how much is Ardie Savea not being here for the first couple of weeks going to be a difference within the environment? And what's it like to think? What do you think it'll be like when he comes back into the environment in terms of a leadership change and the likes of that?
Yeah, so I think just off of like my experience in terms of having a captain on these long tours, because I think they're away for like 6 or 7 weeks or something, it's tough. It's grueling. You're around the boys the whole time. I don't know if they have the similar sort of travel thing like the Boks, where they can have their spouses or significant other come with. But I think Artie taking the break, and I think they couldn't have him here and be on a break because, I mean, knowing stories from him being on, like, him sharing stories about him and his brother growing up, and them, like, if their parents said the game was cancelled, like you and I would know, if a game was cancelled, you wouldn't drag your parent like down to the field to go make sure that the game was cancelled, but that's in their nature. So knowing Artie, I'm sure he would have like frothed at the bit to be like, oh, let me get in some game time or whatever. So I think for him to take a proper break, that will be good, and I think also good for the series itself. And he'll bring like a lot of insight and bit of energy that the guys will need. Like I'm saying, when it's 3 or 4 weeks on tour, they will need that energy, and I think he'll bring that.
Yeah, and then where's Codie Taylor now, standing captain? I suppose a solid choice in that he's such a well-respected figure within the squad, senior member, been through it all. You've got to get your tour captains quite right. It's always been interesting when you look at like your British and Irish Lions tours, how, you know, the tour captain of inverted commas might not even necessarily play all the games, but just from a tour captain point of view, it's quite an important choice from a morale, especially on these longer tours.
No, absolutely, and I think you need, as you said, someone who's kind of been through it all, you know, almost seen it all, been to multiple World Cups, different tournaments, campaigns, will be able to guide the guys off and on the field. You know, and arguably off the field is more important. You know, when you said there were 5 debutants in the squad potentially.
Yeah, I think there are
right?
4 or 5,
I mean, so those eyes are large. You know, traveling to South Africa, we know it's
for the first time because they don't play Super Rugby now. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We know that the All Blacks like playing in South Africa, especially Cape Town. Yeah. Almost a home game for them.
Somebody said the other day that South Africa was one of the best places to come play because they love the sushi here. And I was like, of all the things to like attribute towards South Africa, like, oh, we must play in South Africa because of the sushi.
Japan is like,
I was like, I swear.
Yeah. Ridiculous. No, but it's so there's a lot of distractions, and Brad, I'm sure maybe you can talk to that as well. Like when you go places and you travel, you know, there's the sights and the sounds. Yes, you're there on a job, you're being professional, but with these young guys coming in, you need that like old bull to sort of, you know, tighten the reins.
100%, and I think a lot of them, even though they might have a couple of caps, like 20-odd, 15-odd caps, a lot of them actually haven't been to SA and played in this environment. I mean, it's hostile. Like, you guys are Joburg boys. Like Ellis Park gets hostile, and
even that Lions game, people aren't going to be polite to you on the sides.
It's not. Yeah,
we've been out in Joburg. We know what it's like out there.
It's but I think it's the hustle and bustle of the city that brings that energy. So let's see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they go. But I'm like excited for them because they're on good form, and it's just going to make the series, I think, really amazing.
And then in terms of touring, I mean, we don't usually see the traditional tour. So, I mean, I think if you're a Codie Taylor, I mean, we have a young player, the prospect of coming over here for 4, 5, and then go straight to, I mean, you're not on a 5-6 week tour. No. It's long, and people talk about draining, but it must be quite I mean, if you're a young player, I mean, a proper tour is something that it's almost unheard of these days, really. Yeah. I mean, what do you think it's like going on tour, you know, leaving? I mean, how much excitement is it? As you mentioned, the on-field, but a lot of the off-field as well, especially coming to South Africa. I mean, the amount of different things you're going to see in the next 5-6 weeks. What was it like when you guys were touring in terms of seeing the off-field stuff rather than the on-field stuff?
Okay, sure. No, there was, I mean, I did a brief tour of the east coast of Oz, actually, out in Brisbane. And it was, that downtime was just as important as our on time, right? To switch off mentally. Yeah. Because otherwise, if you're not going out and seeing the sights, if you're sitting in the hotel room, if you're doing strategy meetings, there's all place for that. But if you're just twiddling, your brain is thinking about the game to come. You know, what's going on? Are you good enough? There's all that stuff that starts to creep, and actually having the distractions, taking your mind off that, not draining yourself mentally, I found worked really well. We did get hammered in one of the games, so I don't know how well that bodes for what I'm saying.
On the field or off the field?
No, fair enough. On the field, for the record. It was important. Brian, what was your experience with that switching off?
I agree with you. I mean, we did sometimes you'll do like 2 weeks in like a semi and a final, you know, and like that. Just being in SA, it feels like you out and about, and you don't have like your like regular routine of like going home, being in your own bed and stuff like that. Like moving around and hotel to hotel, sometimes it can be fun, but Like you want a base and you want to settle, and I think that's why they've given Joburg so many like home games and that type of thing, because it's very disruptive from them. And also the big thing is their jet lag that they obviously experiencing. But in terms of camaraderie, I mean, it's like the most amazing thing. Like you learn so much about the guy you're playing with and your mates, and you see life through his eyes instead of just on the field or at training, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do enjoy the tactical way we set this tour up of basically going to be flying into Cape Town for a week, then to Durban, and then coming to the Highveld, whilst the Boks are going to be based here for this week. Then they're going to Buenos Aires, and then coming straight back to Joburg. So a nice little tactical flex there in terms of the scheduling. But week number 2 is down in Durban. And speaking of New Zealanders and All Blacks players going to Durban, a 44-year-old Ma'a Nonu is coming to South Africa in a mentorship capacity. They didn't really speak about how much he's going to be playing. But, 103 caps played with and against Jaden Peterson. So apparently got a bit of history there. But I mean, if you are a Lorenzo Julius sitting at the Sharks, seeing that announcement, I mean, what's it like when you kind of see some of these players and be able to play with somebody like that you've watched all these years and played at such a high level?
So for myself, I mean, you learn more of the game from the guys that have like preceded you, right? So you're the older heads in the group, and even if they are playing or not playing, but you learn so much from them. The coaches kind of give you like the like nitty gritty of stuff, but in terms of like knowing what to do in a certain place, it comes from the senior squad. So like I think my big mentor when I was at the Kings was Ronnie Cook. I don't know if you gents remember him, and Tiger Mangweni, and they were both like so well drilled about certain parts of the game that as a youngster you just overlook, because you're like, that might just come naturally to you, or you don't need to worry about it now, but later on you're going to have to worry about it. And in the small games that we played, then it kind of shows, if you know what I mean. So I think for the Sharks guys, it's amazing. It's a brilliant move, I think, from their leadership structure to bring in an old head like that. And I think it would be great to see like the Stormers do the same, Boland do the same. They need that, man. They need experienced heads, and they need like the guidance to help those guys become longevity players and also unreal on the field, because we have such good talent in this country.
I mean, that's also just a cool signing, isn't it?
No, just a cool signing, just a cool dude. But I think it's so true what you said, and I think to add to that, it's also like the experience, but then this alternative view, right? Like it's not another experienced Springbok from the system, from the same culture. It's like someone coming in with, hey, what about if we looked at it this way? Have we thought about it this way? Have you looked at there? Which I think is super, super cool. Yeah,
we actually get into that bit of the more in terms of that whole different perspective of what it allows.
And I wanted to ask, maybe just briefly, if you guys could have played with a non-South African international, like a Ma'a Nonu old head, who would be one from any team that you would potentially have wanted to play a season with or learn from in your team?
Ooh.
You're putting me on the spot.
No, it's just.
I've got to get this right. I mean, there's so many that sort of come to mind. When you think of like a Dan Carter, being able to like watch him do his work. I'm trying to think of something fun. Almost like a street won't forget type player, like a Robertson from England, for example. Like I used to love watching him play. It must be quite cool just watching him do his thing. At the same time, if you had like when you watch with like something like a Jerome Kano running over people, it must have been quite entertaining. I don't know. I mean, my next door neighbour probably would have been a step up for what I played with. So you're probably better suited to give some decent examples. I
don't know. I mean, I think the one as like a background player that I would have thought to play with was either like a Matt Giddo or Wendell Saylor. Right. You know, like Wendell's, he's like a bit left of centre, but like it would be amazing to play with somebody like that, I think.
Yeah, Giddo's also, I like the Giddo shot as well. I think you think like a Craig Cooper, for example. It's always the Mavericks, isn't it? The people that you're just going to do something that's not expected.
I'm surprised you didn't say Finn Russell.
The GOAT. I don't know, I kind of immediately just went to a tired place. I don't know why.
No, and that's to be fair, kind of what I was thinking, like the old heads there, like a Matt Giddo.
Because at the same time, it must be wild watching like a DuPont do his thing, because he just has so many different things that he does in the match that are weird. and quite quirky.
Yeah.
And yourself?
I also was thinking. I mean, I really enjoyed Kieran Reid as a player. You know, so as an 8, like watching.
I don't know if you would have. I think he might have benched you.
100%, and that's fine. Would have definitely come on as the understudy. But David Pocock as well, just an absolute engine on him. Like you know, going out and now so cool. A bit of fangirling, but now so cool that he's like.
But is this your auditioning to try and get him to come onto one of the lodges?
100%. I know his brother Steve. So no, David is now like an MP, Australian, you know, sort of political scene, which is cool, advocating for environmental rights and stuff. So cool to go from one role model to a next and take that.
Yeah, he's very bright. I was watching an interview, and they're talking about the whole social media. It's a bit of a completely left thing, but he's talking about the whole social media policy they've got in Australia. And it's interesting how we've taken the time to understand how YouTube works, how everything works in terms of actually saying, but your proposed bill is just not practical. So it's interesting because you don't think of. I mean, some rugby players have tried to go into politics unsuccessfully, but he's a very, very interesting character because he is very bright and very aware and self-aware.
But there we go, look at that, on the match, politics, culture, social media.
See, we do it all here. We do it all here. And speaking of it all, I mean, the action we've got coming here, it's Stormers on the 7th of August, Sharks on the 11th of August, Bulls on the 15th of August, the Lions on the 25th of August. There is a test in between there. 29th of August down in Cape Town. 5th of September back up in Johannesburg. And then we're off to Baltimore. So it's quite a... It's all starting to get a bit real now, isn't it? The fact that this time next week, All Blacks are going to be in the country. Which domestic game are we looking forward to the most, Brian? Which one's got your... I want to see what might happen.
I think the Stormers game's going to be quite interesting. I don't know, like the Sharks at the moment aren't like quite there, but they have the capability of being amazing. But I feel like that Stormers game is going to be a very good crack. But in saying that, I think also week 1 after the test, I think that's when the Lions play.
Big fixture.
And I think then he'll put on a strong side as well, because it will just be like, you know, like round 2 of kind of playing out there.
Yeah, I suppose that might be the potential banana peel, because you'll have your test team would have played on the Saturday, so it'll be a completely different side. They'll then play on I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the Lions, I was at Bok training today and the Lions training before, and the good news is that I think there were only 3 Lions players who weren't training. Stevie P wasn't training, Mahashe was in the moon boot, and Ethan Adams, who I don't think would have played, but Bronson Mills running around looking very fit, Tinker van Veker's looking fit. The new signings were there. The new Harold Andrews around, Buddha Chamberlain was there, so it was interesting to see the types of teams that we do see being put out. I think the Stormers is a good shot because they've got a lot of box, but they've got more squad depth than the Sharks, who have been completely gutted by the box. Because that's, I think, always the biggest problem. We see the same thing in Lions tours, is how many players are within the national side, especially Rassie not doing them too many players by having 44 players. So there's a lot of players missing, and the Lions will be missing the fewest, with just Morne and Quine Horn, really. Any of those games have got your eye on? I think we might try and make a move towards the Lions game and go and see history in the making.
Which would be very lekker. So I think the Lions is exciting because it's the home team from that perspective, for me at least. But I think realistically, perhaps most competitively, Brian, I'm with you. I think the Stormers probably the best shout to take them the furthest. You know, who knows? Yeah,
well, somebody sort of spoke about the Stormers like front row depth, for example, and they were saying, you know, even missing a couple of the props like a Zach Porth, they've still got very good front row depth. So they're saying it'd be interesting to see which side can give them a real good go. Because if you're an All Black side and you come here and one of the franchises start out-scrumming you, it doesn't really bode well for when you go to the national side. I mean, I was there and old Carly Sardi and Quadzilla himself, Vilkalo, were having a chat. I just sat there going, there are
massive.
There are countries who weigh as less as a country than those quads there. It is just childish how big they are.
And mobile, eh? They are very mobile boys, eh?
I mean, like Zach Porth, for example, Zach Porth and John Hendry Vessels, you have to tell people they're front rows. You know, and I mean, not because I think Zach Porth would probably be a stupidly good number 8. But just very much last sort of few minutes, and then we'll move on to the next section. We have trimmed our squad down to 43, then to 44. People will know by now, but Oxenchair was not a training today, so I think that is why Ntuka has been called up. Players released, Nkuma's back in, but Evan Roos, Andre Hugo Fenter, Ambrose Papier, Jaco Williams, and Ruben van Heerden on standby. Brian, which one of those was the surprise?
I think Evan Roos and Papier as well.
Yeah.
But I think Evan Roos, I think he's had the fight back, you know, and I mean, he has been kept out by quality and visa, but like, he's put in the work, man. I think, I mean, you'll know, it's like Lucy, like he doesn't go back. He's upped up his carries. He's like very certain under the ball. Like, he's not, I think 2 years ago he was a bit edgy, like the ball would pop out or a loose pass or something. But yeah, between him and Papier, I mean, Papier also very unlucky, but we do have like 3 of the best scrum halves in the world at the moment. So where do you find space to put in individual brilliance when the team ethos is around team?
Yeah.
And
I'll
what
tell you
works
what,
the best?
there were the scrum half talents today at that training session, when you think that we had Morne van den Berg, Grant Williams, Kobus Reinach, also, and Herschel Yankees around for the box. Meanwhile, Harshim Pete and Nico Steyn was running around with the Lions. So I said to go around, there's a lot of good scrum halves here.
Yeah.
If you were a scout looking for a scrum half, this is probably the best talent per capita in the world right now.
Yeah.
Wes, any sort of surprise ones there from you?
No, I think Papier probably for me the biggest flag. I think I agree, Brian, with you and your comments about Ivan. We had a chat, it was now not last week but the week before on the Mad podcast about the most underrated Springboks ever.
Yeah.
And you know,
It's an interesting one.
it's often what happened out of there, players would be underrated or overshadowed by other brilliance, you know, and as you said, it's just almost unfortunate timing that we've got such quality in Visa and he's on form and doing so well.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's just having to work harder than, you know, you would have to get into the box squad, which you already have to work incredibly hard. So, no, I mean, if he can just keep his head up or head down, keep grinding away, the opportunities will come.
And then players back, and return of El Capitano. Interesting conversation. Obviously, Paul de Villiers having a fantastic Nations Championship. Now talking about the whole, is this the end of Siya Kolisi? You played with Siya at SS schools, not quite Craven Week because of the country districts and EP.
Yeah.
As a player, what was he like when you sort of first went in? And was he like? I'm always interested when I hear people. Was he one of those players that when he played at that level, you sat there going, no, this guy's going to go far? Yeah.
So, Siya I've actually known since I think we were grade 7, so like since 13, right? So because him being at grade P and me being at St Andrews in Grahamstown, so we played against each other grade 8, grade 9, and like those games were tough. Like he's just, you know, when you just see somebody moving around the field and like effortlessly doing their thing, and that's just in their flow state, like that was him. And then you saw him in his grade 11 year, and he was like, I wouldn't say a man possessed, but that grade PE team was probably one of the best schoolboy teams I've seen in a long shot. And he was just like amazing. And then in his matric year, he got injured, so he was like on off with the ankle and whatever, and still managed to make the SS schools team. And I think they lost to Province like 15-0 or something in the Currie Cup game, but he was still in the Craven Week game, and he was still man of the match. So just brute power, like amazing mind on his head and an unreal work ethic. But I think we've seen that now in the last, like, I suppose he's always had this amazing work ethic, but this last part of his career, I think it's just been, he's gone streets ahead of where I think it should be.
Yeah, and then as a person, I mean, when, having played with him and being in squads, you know, when he goes and becomes captain, stuff like that, do you sort of sit there saying, yeah, it was bound to happen? Or was he a bit different when he was younger? Because he always speaks about the fact that he was very different when he was younger from a bit of a personality point of view. Yeah.
I mean, he's always been a fun guy and good, like, good energy and just such a great human. And I don't think a lot of people are like, oh, when you become captain and Springboks, like you change and whatever, which is bound to happen. But he's still stayed being a people's person. He's still got the love and energy for everyone, and like, he's still very humble. So I think the one thing Rassie's done really well with that squad is that he's kept them very humble and very like appreciative of every moment that they're in as Springboks at the moment. So he's, I mean, type of guy that'll take like, I would say like the shirt off his back to give to somebody who had less, you know. And I mean, I get to see quite a bit of him, which is quite nice. I went to church with him on Sunday actually, and it was like quite refreshing to see him in that scene. And he'll say to me, like, he's like, Bruce, so he's like, when we get in there, you know, there's no celebs in church. And I'll go, yeah, like, God's a celebrity, you know, like, but he'll be like, yeah. But he'll be like, so if like somebody asks me for a photo, like, I always get a bit shy because I'm like, what do I do? Because I'm in the Lord's house, you know, but still loving character, amazing guy, an amazing father as well, which is, I think, largely underplayed, which you don't, as a youngster, and him also not having his father figure around for a lot of the parts that, you know, as gents, we need to have a father figure around. He's been that person for his children. And as much as he is a provider, he's still very there, very in tune, very in their lives. And it's amazing. It's actually very amazing to see.
Yeah, well, we've always said CF president as far as I'm concerned. You spoke about people going into politics. Yes. I think everyone's secretly hoping that he might dabble in a bit afterwards.
My vote.
Well, there we go. You see. Right, chaps. Yeah, let's start down the breakdown. Let's move into the loose trio. So the loose trio, this is now fun and fast news stories, and we've got 3 stories today, this week. The first one is Rassie not upset, well, not scared to upset the Christmas table and dropping his son-in-law, or future son-in-law. I don't think they are officially married yet. I mean, we always know that Rassie's spoken about the fact that, you know, there's no bias, but that might not go down very well at the dinner table on the holidays. What do you think the vibe is when he's now going on a holiday, or you're literally at the Christmas lunch and Andre Hugo Fent is there and you've then got the Springbok coach on the other end of the table?
Is it, well, I mean,
we all know
that's exactly what it probably is. Exactly like it.
Exactly that interaction. No, I mean, you know, father-in-laws and, you know, your partner's father's always a bit intimidating, you know, and want to be respectful. And never mind it being the Springbok coach, and never mind you being a Springbok, wanting to be a permanent Springbok. I mean, that just adds pressure on pressure. But yeah, I don't know, Brian. How would you?
I think it's actually tactical. It's probably gone, mate, go over there, soften up some of these All Black boys with the Stormers game.
An agenda.
You know, and because I think Rassie's big thing is, as much as South Africa needs to win, the clubs also need to win. You know, like they need to also stamp a bit. So it might be that, but
punches.
Yeah, but I think like it must be quite interesting. I think his social side of things is always quite interesting. How Rassie, like, you see him dancing and jollying and whatever. So I think the house must be
not scared to have a social.
Yeah. So the house must be quite a fun house, I think.
Yeah, Shane, do you think, I mean, you'll sit there and say, Andre, do you want another brandy? And he'll be sitting there going, is this a test?
Is it? Yeah.
Am I allowed to say yes? And I just want to know, do you think does he just get removed from the WhatsApp group? Does he phone his daughter and say, listen, just let Andre know, you guys can go on holiday next week. You're not going to need him, don't stress.
He's chill.
Yeah, no, he's got the time. Or you guys need to cancel your plans because we've got plans for him. It must be a fun-ish. And then the next one is Nigel Owens has spoken about Quinn Tupaea's lucky dive for the yellow card. Well, it wasn't even a penalty initially. Then eventually was a penalty and a card. But I think producer Jade has got the screenshot of this. Please explain to me, in a world where we talk about deliberate knock-ons and the likes of that, please explain to me how that could ever not be somewhat of a deliberate knockdown.
I would just like to throw up Kirkley Arnis's attempt. Remember in that game
when
he got the
front
yellow on and it's there.
Yes.
So again, I think we come back to, and actually, to be fair, I don't know about how you guys have felt, but I felt like the reffing, or at least there haven't been these inconsistencies, right? I feel like there's a really big period in games until we start to get inconsistencies. But point on this, I don't know if we need to relook at the deliberate knock-on rule, because there was I think it was, I'm going to commit a bit of adultery here, but old Sculler on the verdict, talking about saying we can catch the ball with one hand. Like, why is it when it's one hand or if it's two hands?
Yeah.
So I don't know if World Rugby, we're not for rule changes. We know that we like to leave the game alone, or we should, because it forces players and coaches to evolve. But I think this is something that needs serious attention. The deliberate knock-on. Yes, this should have been a yellow. Given the rules, 100%.
Yeah.
That's a goalkeeper save.
Yeah.
That was what we watched in the FIFA World Cup for the last time.
He's gone full Superman.
It's like
But
a profile picture.
in saying that, I mean, TJ scored that unreal try versus the Brumbies where he's done exactly this and he's dived and caught it. But I mean, I agree with you. Whereas, like, you know, like the boys can catch it with the one hand. I mean, we saw John Smith, you know, grab one on the top there, you know, and but it is unlucky. But I think like it does depend on where they're going to score. Are they in a position to score, or is it the first time they're going wide off of a thing? Takes away from the game, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think we are too quick to go the whole deliberate route. And then because we have to always apparently go into a bit of controversial. So Ian McGeechan's all-time 15 has featured 0 Springboks. There are 6 All Blacks, 3 Englishmen, 2 Welshmen, 1 from France, Scotland and Ireland, and not a single Springbok. First of all, we know that this is wrong, because surely you've got to find somebody in there.
I mean,
but if you were to throw in a candidate and say, how have you not included this person, one Springbok to say, surely this gets into an all-time rugby 15, who's your champion, who's your fighter here?
Where is he leading us?
I'll give you time to stall there, Brian. It's all right. Because your answer will be better quality than mine, so it's fine. No, who picked it upon his mind, and maybe it was because you said his name, but we spoke about it again 2 weeks ago. John Smith as a captain, as a leadership figure, and as a hooker. Like, never mind. He comes to front of mind for me. I mean, there's countless others that we can look at.
Alton Yankees, we know that. We threw him in there as most underrated, one of the best players. I mean... I know, yes. Enough said on that. But John Smith, I think for me, probably, I'll stop there. Brian, your thoughts on...
But Ian McGeechan was the 2009 British Lions coach, was he? So, I mean, Codie Taylor, surely, in like that year where I think he should have been Player of the Year. But
I think any World 50, when I think about all-time great box, Codie Taylor is definitely one that comes to mind.
It's like, how do you not throw him in there?
Yeah, I think Codie Taylor is always a good shot. I think Peter Steph the toy these days, you've got to sit there saying, has their...
Sculler. Percy Montgomery as...
You look at Brian Abandon's try scoring record. If you had a ban on one wing, Ma'a Nonu on the other, I'd be impressed if you can name 2 better wings than that. Surely our props are underappreciated here. Oosterhunt won 2 World Cups, like 12 years apart.
But he's a bit of a rusk though, so I think maybe that's what's happening.
Justice for Oos.
Rusk. But that's just unreal that there's no box. And did he address it? Sorry, I didn't see the
I don't think he did. I think he just said this was my all-time side.
So, Geeks.
Geeks.
Yeah,
so geeks.
Sir G. Please explain yourself.
Sir McG.
But very genuinely, maybe why were there no box chosen?
Yeah.
Like, I'd just love to know the reason. They give us a good enough answer, and we probably won't accept it, but we'll move on.
Yeah. Also, no Argentinian player. Sure, you're looking to Sanchez in there, or Pablo Mateo, or someone.
Yeah.
Or
Quinn Tupaea.
Or Gustin Crevy. Come on, throw it in there. So some interesting things running around in the rugby world. Lads, we're going to get into the Maul. Brian, you probably would have not been involved in too many Mauls in your day. It was a new concept for me when I got to varsity and we pitched up at the first race practice, and all of a sudden got told I had to be in the pack. And next thing you know, I was lifting lineouts and joining Mauls. Not really my thing. Yeah. But today we've got an interesting question, and Brian, particularly relevant to yourself. The modern player's journey should include a stint elsewhere. Now, you took it to the extreme because you went to a different code.
Yes.
As well as a different country, as well as a different continent, as a different time zone.
Fair enough.
But yeah, in terms of, we've seen lots of players and people becoming more global. You look at a Cheslin, and he's been in France, Japan, some of these guys have been in like 4 different leagues. How important do you think it is for players to see different environments, even if it's within South Africa itself, but to have a stint somewhere else and get exposed to a different environment?
So I think like the Japan route that a lot of the players have gone now has probably been like the most benefit, like for South Africa ourselves. Like we've we benefited from, I think even from Free's days and right up until like how good Jesse's going at the moment. Like that's not just by chance and him coming of age, and like it's the break from like having, I wouldn't boil it down to just saying like the Bulls have one approach to playing, but I think as a backline coach, like he's learning from Leon McDonald over there at the moment. So it's like it's really great, and it's great, like great competition, and you got such good comp happening at the moment. Like up until I think they're like third league, I think they have that's still got like these like unbelievable players who have like, you know.
My Levi's working with Quinn Tupaea in the second division.
Do you know what I mean?
Of Japanese rugby.
Yeah. So, yeah, a mate of mine, he's actually a Brendan Owen. He was at Cannon with JC and Fuff, and he's just moved, I'm not to the Rams now. But he was saying to me, like, he's like, their third division is the guys play 4 games in, like, I don't know, like, space of 6 months, whatever. And in between, they get like a 10-day break, whatever. And he's like, but they still earn bombs, you know? So he's like, this is probably...
They go, maybe I can get
contract. Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my eyes lit up like this. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, but it's like the perfect world. Because,
back in the gym next day.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, he's like, but you got such good competition happening out there. So I think it's good. I think the guys need to get over there. And I think like even with Zim Rugby and them coming back onto the map is all pretty much because, you know, they got Pryor and the boys playing in Oz, some guys in the UK. Yeah, I think you need that exposure, and you need to you need to grow a bit, and it's tough to grow when you're still, I don't know, 24 and you're living with your parents. Like you need to find out, like, oh no, can I cook a steak? Can I make, like, you know what I mean? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Can I keep my house clean? And
I mean, we had to do that without earning bombs. So
yeah, you know what it's like. And yeah, and then it's also like on the dark days, like when I've got no one to talk to, can I stay in a good space and like, you know, like carry on with life and like keep on in the fight? And I think that's what being away gives you. You don't get that in a lot of other stuff, like work-wise. I don't think you get that, but in terms of playing, like you still have to show up, and you'll know, like if a guy's coming at you off a ruck and he's, you know, coming a million miles an hour, he doesn't care that your girlfriend broke up with you last week or that you failed an exam. Like he's gonna run straight over you, you know, and that's kind of where you build yourself and you learn about yourself.
No, that's
I don't know if you share the same.
Quite a big difference when you went over there.
No, completely. You know, and it was a different culture, and you know, as in time zone and everything, and that was actually such a big part of it was growing up.
Yeah.
You know, big time, coming out of mum and dad's house, and then, you know, it sounds so silly, but doing your washing. We're so privileged here. Well, many of us are privileged here in South Africa to have access to support. But going over there and seeing that it wasn't the case, you know, was quite, really, really caused you to grow up. So when you came back, there were lessons you could teach others, or at least be that role model and call people out. Brian, I want to just ask, and you'll cast your mind back, when you came back into the South African fold and into the union code, was there anything that you found specifically that your time in Oz made you better at the South Africans that had not travelled? That made sense. Did you feel like, okay, my vision of space, or knowing where to be, or my passing, just anything that you found actually being in Oz, playing a different code, helped me with this thing specifically?
Sure, you'll say, thanks for that. You'll say the passing, but I actually have a funny story. When I was playing under 19 at the Lions, and it had been like, so I'd been like on and off in Oz because of my visa issue, and then they were like, come through for the under 19 Currie Cup, and I think we were playing Province. And I'll never forget this for as long as I live, but that's just because I just remember Faf just in my ear and just having a go at me. But I was playing centre at the time, and you know how low the seats are at Ellis Park? Like, it's like
I had season tickets on the second one.
And for some reason I'd been shifted to wing then in like this part, so I still thought there was an oak outside me, and I threw the ball and
Oh,
it
no.
hit
Oh,
first
no.
row.
Oh, no.
It might have been the second row, like just seat. And I remember thinking, oh, well, it's possible. It's possible somebody could do that, but so my passing was maybe not the best, but I think in terms of like when I was playing league, there's obviously 13 players on the park, so there is a bit more space, but because the action's happening quite tight and you're playing on edges, that it's always either 1-on-1 or if there's a moment where it's 2-on-1, it's like it's you just going in, you know exactly what to do, But with Union, then there's loads of space, but we are edge to edge. So like you kick the ball that side, first phase, can kick a cross kick, or on the third phase, you got like guys coming around for the third time, which I was like, well, this is like, it's a bit different, but coming from that like leagueness where, like I was saying, it's very tight in the middle, and if there is an opening, it's always on like the fifth or the sixth play, so you know where it's going. But with Union, it's a bit like anyone can do anything, and you have a bit of individual brilliance somewhere in between, but those types of things are like, I don't know, I'm going to carry on here, but like it's very hard to sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I think the whole league thing, especially in Australia, where we're seeing, a Mark Nwangani Tuwase,
yes.
League, Union back to league, now Panny's coming back to Union, he's going to Japan. You've got Suali'i and making that, and he was a league superstar, but interestingly, very kind of different sort of skill sets, and that's why they haven't been able to really sort of decide where he's going to play. Because, I think a lot of people, in terms of understanding league, I always sort of look at league, it's very, very simplistic, but it's almost a bit like when you watch a touch rugby game in terms of there are no breakdowns, you're not looking at things. So it is, as you said, a lot to do and then creating that space versus Union, which is, there are more players, but also there's more players involved at a single breakdown.
Yes.
So there can be more gaps. So I imagine in terms of like your one-on-one tackling is so vital in league, because if you miss one, that's in many ways, you've got more room for error in terms in a Union potentially from a one-on-one tackling point of view. What was the biggest on the reverse when you went to league? What was something you had to learn very quickly?
Just to keep the ball. So that was like, because the whole time you're thinking, oh, should I put a grubber through, or should I just try to play the ball, because we have the scrums and everything's more contestable in Union than it is in league. So there's no line out in league, it's like a tap and you play, similar to touch rugby. Or the scrums aren't really contestable because the guys aren't pushing, they're just hooking the ball and it's out and play, because D is so important. But so those small little I suppose nuances are where the difference is.
I was watching Andy Farrell, who's obviously got the league background, and he was basically saying the greatest sin in league is to not use your 6 phases or whatever. He said, to lose the ball, as he said, to lose the ball in 3 and 4. He says your big thing is you need to use all 6. And if you don't, that's the big thing. Whereas in rugby, the box especially on first phase, boom, we'll bop and under 50-50. On literally second phase, Marnie will try, you'll chip over the top or you'll throw whatever. There's no sort of sense of we need to go through X amount of phases and then we'll try something.
Exactly.
You'll have potentially, a contestable from first phase, or you might not even kick contestable after 20 phases. So it's a very interesting, different thing. But I think moving out some of the box, I could look at Jasper Visa, and that move to the Prem defined him really. I think Mars van der Merwe as well. So I think what we're getting at here is, for the young players, don't be afraid. Go overseas, go take that opportunity. Even going to the different unions, go and take that chance. It might not always work out, and some it really hasn't. But I think there's a lot of value, even if you end up going exactly back to where you were. I think a lot of players do grow when they make that move. Moving into the Maul of Fame. So last week, Wes, you weren't here, which is a pity because we had no well, you would have enjoyed it being a 7th prop. But our last week candidate was Codie Taylor, which was this just basically his performance from the tears at the beginning before getting his debut, and then single-handedly folding the Welsh nation. We gave it 7s all around, and the community came in with a 7 all around. So Codie Taylor is going to the top of our Maul of Fame at this stage. This week's candidate is another prop.
Love it.
But a bit different. So Brian, to give you a bit of context here, every week we look at clips like that and we score it on a 3, 5 or 7 scale. So is it a penalty, a 3-pointer, is it a 5, or is it a converted try? Connor actually...
Sure.
This is now science to decide. And he starts looking at me to do the maths.
Economics over here.
And we always put me as the maths, even though in the first episode we did disclose that I was in maths lit for good reason.
Top 1% though.
Yeah, true. That's your product, because now you keep... It's like Ronaldo with his predictions a few weeks ago, saying I'll go with 16 points, so I got 50 to their forwards. He looks at me, I'm like, why must I do the maths? So last week, Connor gave that a convert. He said that's a penalty try. Run back to the halfway. Don't take the conversion. This week is theoretically a Maul of Shame moment. It's a bit of both, to be honest. But so that's now your lens. You've got to give it a penalty, a 5 or a 7. Not quite the Varsity Cup. We're not getting 9s yet. But maybe we'll introduce that once we get some more candidates. But this is filthy behaviour for this week, and that is
Go big guy.
the club Stephen Kitts.
Oh, lovely. Oh, and then, I love it. And he just keeps going.
Oh, he's
just moving.
Groove,
Look at the big guy move. And again. Okay.
I mean, I think that...
And again. And does he go all the way?
That's under the tackle.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable.
Get over.
Oh, and the offload.
I mean, I think that... I don't know if for him, for example, that's a bit of a Maul of Fame. I would personally like to nominate all the attempted tacklers for the Maul of Shame. Especially, first of all, this is the most diabolical goose step ever done.
Love it.
But that wing, that must be a tough fine session after the game for those lads. Not to mention being rounded.
Yeah.
Look, he had no intention of making that tackle.
How impressive is the big guy getting back there, though?
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. You can just see, you guys are useless. I'm just bored of this.
Big 5.
Can we just talk also about where is this? Because the size of these guys.
7's going.
Also, what's happening with the ref and his tackies and... There's a lot going on here.
There's a lot in the clip.
Where did you find this?
The algorithm, Steve. Where do we find things these days?
Yeah, true.
I think this is tough. I'd like to split it into 2.
Yes.
Okay, to break it down, because there's just beautiful things happening. I'd like a nomination for the Maul of Fame for the big man here, for number 16. Okay. So we're going to rank this on how good we think this run is. Yeah. Right. So again, 3, 5, and 7. So maybe we start there. For me, I think it's phenomenal. I think I'm tempted to go 7, but he didn't score the try. Would have just put the cherry on top. So I think I've got to go 5. Love the step, the handover, offload. All right. I mean, they do end up scoring, but for me, I give that run a 5. It's getting a try from me.
I'm with you, Wes. I'll back you on that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving it a 3 because of that, whatever that goose step was. We've just saw Codie Taylor. You're a prop. You're there for one thing. We in South Africa, we don't do this. That doesn't get you into the Springbok. I don't think. Could you imagine if Oxen Chair tried that in the day 1 of the Bok train? I think he'd be sent back to the Sharks. So I'll give it. I mean, it's an impressive run, but. So that goose step's not get down to a 3 for me.
Perfect. We will then get producer James's rating.
Correct.
And just a reminder to everyone, we need you guys to rate and get involved. We get a fan rating as well, which is quite cool.
Fun. Yeah.
And then basically we're working on a ladder where we'll start to get this kind of running ladder going. Okay. And then what I'd like to suggest is a Maul of Shame for the entire defensive team.
Terrible.
So, and again, this is a bit counterintuitive. A 7 means it's more terrible. If that makes sense.
The most terrible.
Yeah. So
number 1 was the most terrible.
Yeah, so I'm giving that a 7 for the defense as a Maul of Shame candidate.
Yeah,
that tackling is horrendous.
This one, I think he generally gets this one wrong, the wing.
Yeah.
But this second inverted commas attempt of a tackle, this one coming up here. He even basically pulls his arm and like, oh no, I've been done. No, it's brutal. I mean, shout out number 5, who eventually decides you're actually useless. Let me just, he does slip the first tackle, but
brings him down eventually. No, so
yeah, I'm at a 7. You can't let that man have that kind of that highlight reel now for the rest of the world seeing that as well.
I agree with you. But he must be a hell of a dancer on dance for
He,
that.
I said, the post-match function, he must have been.
He must have been.
He must have been the centre. Yeah, I'll tell you what, and the centre of attention there. I mean, if he wasn't wifed up or husbanded up before that game, I tell you, he would have had candidates after that.
Okay, very good.
Well, there we go. That's your Maul of Fame for the week, and let us know what your rating is, so that we can add that to the thing. We do have all this in print, so next week we'll be able to stick it officially onto
Nice.
the board, and we're going to get into try or lie. Right, lads. Welcome to try or lie, which is basically a bit of a true and false, Brian. So basically, producer James behind the camera will be asking or giving us a statement or a question. Red means lie, black for try.
Okay.
So if you're agreeing or saying yes, then he gets a black paddle. If it's a lie, then it's a red paddle. Ronaldo was atrocious with this last week, so I'm hoping we're going to have a step up. He disagreed that rugby wasn't the most Rassie wasn't the most influential figure, and also said Northern Hemisphere rugby was more exciting.
That's why he's not here.
Yeah, no, that's why we brought in Brian.
Yeah.
He had to bring in some reinforcements. So producer, also didn't even have producer James last week. So producer Dirk had to stand in. Right, producer James, what have you got for us here?
Okay, so we've got rugby boots should only ever be black. Brightly coloured boots are for sharks.
Maybe unpopular.
Nah,
No, agree.
That's
There's too much agreement. Boo! The algorithm hates this.
Look, I mean, we can go with the lie. I will allow coloured boots, but one thing we need to have a discussion is we got to start looking at positions that have boots. We can't be having our tight heads with coloured boots.
It's
Like,
a hard line.
surely,
Hard
it's like the refs. The other day, did you see a ref had a pair of pink boots? It can't be. Good old Rassie still trained with the box in the black Adidas.
Copa Mundi Wells.
You've got it. You have to.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. I mean, could you imagine Rassie around the field with like bright neon boots? Can't be done. Yeah, that's all. Or the 95 squad, or we'll go and riot. If I mean, could you imagine like sort of like an Oosterrad or Bakkies Boerter running around in like the pink trendy boots? No, you got to keep it black. Keep it traditional. One of my favorite school teams, and you would have known about this, was the Kingswood, who had the rule that you could not have coloured boots at one stage.
Yeah.
The entire team always had black boots. It always looked very cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, we used to have that actually for our junior rugby. We it have to be black or
The only big problem these days is quite difficult to find black boots. But yes, right, okay. Do you say what else you got for us?
Alright. The Captain's Challenge system should be introduced to international rugby immediately.
So basically where the captain can invoke one TMO check.
Correct.
Yeah. So the captain, so like Siya, for example, can say, we want to have this one check. You get one a match.
I'm not a fan.
No,
I'm a fan.
I'm also going to say lie. You can defend yourself. You're in the minority here.
Yeah.
I'm always the minority. I always seem to be the popular.
Defend yourself.
I think that in many ways, if you were to do it properly, it would reduce the amount of inverted comma stuff they check, because it means you can only ask once. Because at the moment, I feel like it's almost like informally it does happen. There is a lot of what about this, what about this, what about this, versus you've got one opportunity to say it, and after that, pipe down and shut up. But I do think that there are things that get missed very blatantly, and you kind of at the rest thing. But I also don't think you should be like tennis, where if it's right, you keep it. One challenge and that's it.
Done. One and done.
One and done.
Okay.
For example, things like grounding, for example, they might be adamant that, look, the technicality would be interesting, because then you have to decide, well, what's the call? Is it on-field try, on-field off try? I don't mind it. You guys not fans.
I don't dig it, but I think like in the England Arge game, like with that last try at the end there, which I think should have actually been a try, at the least it should have been a try. Worst case scenario, should have been a penalty try, but for them to not call it a try at all was like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, how many rules are we gonna break here? Over the shoulder, like, taking swinging your arm to the chin. I don't know if you've taken one of those ways, but it's just like, I mean, and then you probably might not have had the RG's blowing up. Over,
Well, we said last week, we said we will never condone behaviour. However,
yeah.
there was a reasonable amount of cause for such reaction, given
Yeah.
the lack of absolutely anything, not to mention the fact that the referee wanted to award the try, and the TMO just adamantly said
no.
not happening.
Yeah.
Right, Bruce James, what's next? I need something where I'm not the minority.
Well, it's more fact one. So the record for the most individual points scored by a Springbok in a single test match belongs to Percy Montgomery.
Sure, so this is proper true or
True or
false?
false?
Is black's a lie?
Yeah.
Black is true, so you agree. Red is, yeah.
Where's your copy of the pencil, Tom?
So I'm going back to my episode 1 days. I'm going to just for shits.
Do you get bonus points if you can name who is
Yeah.
the...
Okay, well, no.
Okay, I'm going to say I've got 2.
I got one.
Let's hear Brian's.
Yeah.
Last year, Sasha, Argentina game.
Yeah, he was going to be my one.
Yeah.
I tell you who had who was a silent assassin. John Ginokwe, I think, scored 4 or 5 tries in one match. He's got the record for the most tries in a match for Bok. So I think he could have been because like Andre Paul would have lots, but yeah, Sasha with his.
Sasha scored 37 points
Yes.
in Argentina 2025,
Yeah.
placing Randy De Beers and Percy Montgomery.
Yeah.
There we go.
57 points.
Yeah, 2 tries I think it was,
I
and
remember
then 27 points of the boot.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's
Yeah.
insane, actually.
That's
It's
crazy.
like,
There's a reason that he was in the conversations last year as one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Lucy James, I believe you might have one more for us.
I've got a couple more.
Ah, there we go.
Alright, I've got Dr. Donald Craven, the man whom the tournament is named after, originally opposed the selection of the official South African schools team from the tournament because he wanted it to remain a festival rather than a trial. True or false?
I'm going true.
yeah, I'm going to stick with the boys on this.
It's exactly that. True.
Wait.
In 1974, when the first SA schools team was picked, it was done against Darnie's explicit wishes. He firmly believed the Craven Week should be an inclusive rugby festival, not a high-stakes competition.
That's why my only thing was why I imagine that they've never, to respect his memory, gone with the official final, and that's why it always is the unofficial final.
Yes.
So I'd assume that was kind of the thinking.
That makes sense.
These days, I'm surprised they actually haven't changed with how competitive the schoolboy rugby is.
Yeah, and I've got 2 more for you.
Right.
Very nice.
Okay.
But just to add to that, sorry, how good is it seeing the girls have like a SS school side
SS
and
school
a...
side.
Huh?
I think it's amazing how quickly we've caught up.
Yeah.
Not entirely to the thing, but Swayze is doing good things. And it's interesting, he was actually saying just his last 2 years means that now he's moved from a mentality which he had to try and learn about.
Yeah.
They knew we're going to lose games, mistakes, and now apparently he's getting far more cutthroat. Right, you're now professional, you're at this
Yeah.
level. We will not actually tolerate, inverted commas,
Yeah.
the standard. You guys are now there.
Yeah, and I saw there were some articles that came out after the US series. I think it was a 2-game series that they came here. And Trace was saying that it's no longer, like, the dressing room is not accepting losing.
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
when
really?
the attitude
Yeah.
is no longer. When you were coming up, it's like, we're not accepting losing. And it hurt. And he said it's good.
Yeah.
And they all, they know it's good to feel the hurt, which is awesome. So
What, 2029, is the next Women's World Cup. There we go. Right, what have you got for us?
Okay. Brian can't answer this one.
Sorry, Brian.
Brian was coached by Carlos Spencer.
Sure.
Carlos Spencer, well, you were at Joburg. But he didn't coach for Joburg, did he? He ran. Oh, I've got mine. Have you got yours?
I'm just going to go opposite whatever you say.
Okay. my outward thing is EP, potentially.
That is true.
Damn it.
That is true.
This is why you get the big bucks, Steve.
Yeah, the big bucks.
There we go.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That was pretty cool.
Carlos. Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool. He's a brilliant mind, Carlos. But like you saying with Swayze, the thing with being at the Kings was like, it wasn't that the guys weren't competitive, but they were the senior guys were like, they'd done their thing, you know. Like we'd had Stephen Sykes and Luke Watson.
Yeah.
and
What years were you at Kings?
So 2011, 12. Sorry, 12 and 13. 12
Okay.
and 13, yeah.
So before Dion Davids. Or we
He
been
coached
around there.
me
Yeah.
at SWD actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because 2016 I started covering
yeah,
the Kings down there.
yeah. But I mean, Carlos just brought that edge of like, you guys are going to the next level, which was like, playing scene, like main Curry Cup and not this. I don't know what the other Curry Cup's called. Sorry, it's so embarrassing. First division,
Cup
yes, that's
well,
the one. Yeah,
all the different competitions.
Yeah. So but a lot of the guys had like some international caps, right? So like Luke Watson and Steve Sykes and like they were seasoned Super Rugby players, but the other mix, the broader mix of the guys was young guys coming into a setup out of varsity cup and that type of thing, and I think that change was very good. And Carlos brings that, and he's like a brilliant mind, like I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember watching him at the Lions when we had our season tickets. Look, he gave us Alton Yankees. Those two.
Yeah.
We'll always be grateful for King Carlos for giving us Sir Alton. Last one now.
Last one. Okay. If the three of you were stranded on an island, Wes would be eaten first.
Well,
no, definitely.
eaten first.
Yes.
This is the oak from the bush.
Exactly, because you're going to sit there and go, oh guys, check out this thing. It's X, Y, Z.
I'd know the behavior. I'd
No
be like,
ways.
no, pass up.
No, you're being eaten. I definitely think you'd be eaten first. Economically, it would make sense to take me first.
Yes.
I'd go first.
More bang for buck.
Well, this is the thing. But at the same time, look how pale I am. This is about as underdone as you can get. Yeah. This is like having a proper raw steak.
That's what they like.
No,
Raw,
not
cooked.
convinced.
No ways. No, I'm putting my foot down. Yeah, there's no ways I'm being eaten first.
Oh, Brian, you know us for all of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Who are you backing here?
I don't know, the ecologist who's lived for years in the bush, both Malawi and Okavango in the Delta, now working in Zambia, or the guy who's been in Joburg.
Just Joburg.
I'm just saying, one of us play in the backline, one of us is a prop, eh?
Yeah, I don't know.
My acceleration is mean.
That's going to have to be settled. Producer James, organise a trip to an island. Strand us there. 3 go, 2 return.
We're going to be doing a run it straight challenge on this island between yourself and me. I'm going to do a run it straight challenge with Ronaldo, and now I'm potentially being eaten. What have I done wrong in this podcast?
Clear your schedule.
Run it straight
you're
challenge
coming.
will be amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to, cool, Brian, we'll see you on the island.
Yes, yeah, perfect.
Run it straight.
Right, let's get into the next phase and really start to pick this down. Right, welcome to the next phase, powered by MyPicks. If you guys haven't, then what you can do is you can go to mypicks.app and you can go and predict various different things, including trying to predict the Bok team. Now, admittedly, at this stage on MyPicks, it's 1/3 of 15. We'll try and predict a bit of a bench. You could actually go and submit your team. We'll actually submit this as the Mad team in terms of our predictions for the Bok team next week. Wes will give his go at trying to predict things. But you can predict a lot on MyPicks. You can predict teams, you can predict scores, you can rate players, and the whole thing. Right, guys, we've got 23 next week. And a very interesting 23 to try and pick, given the fact that there's players coming back from injury, 10 no less. We've got players who played quite a lot, players who maybe haven't played a lot, and the rest of the players who will not be going over. I believe about 26 to 28 man squad that'll be going over, which we don't know yet. Knowing our luck, it'll probably be announced just as this comes out. But as of this stage, we've got a 44-man squad, although I will say that Oxen Chair was not spotted trailing. It's my only little nugget I've got for you guys. But we need to get through this relatively quickly, try and get a 1 through to 23. So do we want to go 1 through, or do we kind of want to like almost sort of say we know who we think's going to start in certain positions and builds out there, which might be a bit more fun. Who do we think, give me like one name who we think is definitely starting next week?
I'm just going to remove Ox off.
Yeah.
For one I had here.
Off to a good start, yeah.
Yeah, no. For me, I rate Siya.
Siya.
I don't know. That for me, I think is a pretty...
It's good feeling. It's a
That's
good
a
go.
very small pen there. So you reckon Siya definitely starts.
It's a good go.
This is getting even worse.
This is cue the blooper reel.
Literally.
And
I think I might just picked up the first one. There we go.
how's it?
Okay, cool. So you got Siya's definitely starting. Brian, have you got anybody who you think is definitely getting a run out next week?
I think Peter Steff or Durban. You can go one of the two.
You reckon Peter Steff's always getting another one?
Yeah.
I like it because I've got him there as well.
You got it?
Yeah, 2 for 2.
So you've also got Urban there.
Yeah.
3 for 3. Told you the notebook.
3 from 3. Yeah, we gone.
Steve?
I'm going to take mine. I think Sasha starts.
Yeah,
we
that's
are
good.
in
so I think
sync.
he is starting at 10.
Yeah. Kane and Moody, 13.
Moody at 13. I think the shout makes sense with Creole having all 3 games. I personally would like to see Creole being left behind.
Yeah.
No, purely
No.
From a protective
We are Creole fans here. That was no shade thrown.
No, I'm the chairman of the Creole League,
Yeah.
most underrated players committee. Don't worry,
Yeah.
we need to wrap him up in cotton wool.
Felt like a Tyson Fury underhand.
And Jesse, please.
Yeah.
I've seen a man in person, and
It's funny.
there's not a piece of body fat on his body.
Can I then go to the bench?
Oh yeah,
I
like
think
it.
Andre Esterhuizen.
Is he fit? No.
He was training today,
Okay.
so as far as we understand,
I just think as an impact player coming off the bench, the
Yeah.
versatility offered, whether it's a forward that you need or a backline player.
Okay.
at 23, I don't mind that shout. So you happy to agree with that shout there, Brian?
I'm happy with that.
Right,
DDA?
at 12.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I've got.
You got that too?
Same wavelength.
Cribbing, yeah.
I think the thing is, can I give a bit of context around my thinking
Yeah.
so far? Is that I reckon it'll be a pretty full bore side,
Yeah.
and we'll see a lot of the players who haven't played start. Like that was my reason for Kolisi, Durban, right? Like, and again, it's a full strength if we think about the
Yeah.
World Cup team from
Well, they need to.
one.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was.
Well, I think my next one is I think surely we need to see Lewis play if he's going to play in the box. We have to see Lewis Diago get a game over here.
So-
LDJ.
Yeah.
You have five.
No. So I had Lurt on the bench, but I had Franco Mostert.
Starting at 5.
Starting at
also
5.
not a bad shout.
But I'm happy to put Lurt in at 5. We'll start him.
Who's
and then-
more likely to come off the bench? I think Lurt's probably better off the bench than Franco, just for impact player.
Franco can play 6, eh?
Yeah, so he could also
Yeah.
be on the flank. Would you have Lurt? Have you got Lurt or Franco starting at 5?
I had Lurt. I had Urban and Lurt as locks.
Okay, put Lurt. Yeah. Lekker.
You can always change it.
Yeah.
Always change it.
There you go. It's nothing.
No, I'm happy. We're happy to come in and
Yeah.
adjust. I think this is an interesting one. Who do we think starts at 15? Damien's played a lot of rugby, was my thinking.
Yeah.
I think Apelefassi's had 2 of his weaker games recently. We've not seen Quine Horn in the 15 at all yet. I don't have an answer to the question. I'm just that's some of my things there. Who do we think at 15?
I popped in Fussy.
Fussy.
That was my call,
Yeah.
I think, as well. Just, again, not in his best form. I
Yeah.
think there might be one last shout to
Yeah.
see before going into the tour.
Right? You
That makes sense. I agree with that.
go Fassi.
Yeah, weekend special.
Weekend special.
Yeah, I reckon.
See, we're avoiding that front row.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
So let's give it a crack. I'm going to go
Okay.
Malcolm in the hooker there.
So you reckon Mark's
Yes,
been another
Brian.
go?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm
Moxie
with.
boy in the middle.
And then I've got I've put young Zach to start.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That was no, you don't have to write it. It was just what I was
Yeah.
thinking to spice it up to see.
See, I think that this is Zach's jersey come the World Cup even,
Yeah.
Sure.
personally. I
Okay.
think right now, and people are talking about Vilcalo off the bench, I still think right now, I think
Yeah.
Zach is an absolute,
Just with the athleticism, he
oh,
brings, the
I think
energy,
he's such a
like an
weapon off the
impact.
bench at the moment.
Yeah.
And next year
Cool.
he's going to be unreal.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think he only gets
Okay.
better.
So should we pop him in at 18 then?
At 18,
Zach.
I think you're going to be at 18. Brian, where were you thinking with your front row shots here?
I mean, the man's a specialist that we had next to us. But
Please don't call me that.
Yeah, when we get Ollie started on the show, you guys are packed out and we can
Yeah.
see how much work you did there.
Yeah.
yeah, happy with Zach to be on the bench.
Zach.
I think then you got to throw in, what's this? Jan Hendrik from the Bulls, hey?
Yeah.
He would normally be 17.
17 or 16.
What's it? 17, I think.
So, yeah, well,
What does he come on as?
I think it was against Scotland. He came on at loosehead,
Yeah,
and then one of them he came on at loosehead and then shifted to hooker later. One of them he came on just as hooker.
yeah.
So
But Grobler would then be all.
yeah, so I think if Roblo's going to be at 16 and got Jan Hendrik at 17, what have you got?
That was it. So I had Grobler on the bench, and actually, yeah.
And you have Jan Hendrik
And
at loosehead.
Yeah.
So let's go.
He's a talent that day. I
Jan
reckon
Hendrik.
he's
He's physical. Like, him and Paul, they just don't even play like props.
Yeah. And to like Have you seen the videos of him on schoolboy level?
Well, so, and half of them have got number 1 on the back, then he had number 8 on the back, and then he had, I'm like, what does this kid not play?
Yeah.
He'd probably be a very good centre as well.
He's unreal, man. Unreal.
Okay, so Thomas Tutoe did have an ice pack on his calf. I personally think that this is either Thomas or Al-Sadi's getting another go. That's where I was.
I'm happy with that.
Which one? Where do we go? You had Zach. Who did you have on the bench?
I had literally, who did I have on the bench? Yeah, Grobler. I had Thomas on the bench, actually.
Thomas on the bench.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see you're following up that Wales performance.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can do it.
I tell you what, I think Thomas has played an absurd amount of rugby this year.
So you think it's a bit of a rest?
So I think that if there is any injury doubts, because I think he'll start against the All Blacks, but I think that he gave them a lot to think about. Right, well, options at 1 remaining are Instuko Tunu, Gerard Sennekamp, or Bernd Venter.
It's a tough, eh?
Or Thomas Tutoe starts at 1. There we go.
Is Vincent still injured? Vincent Carl?
I don't know if he's injured, but he's on the squad. So,
wow.
Yeah, not an option at the moment.
I've got
Steenekamp then.
yeah.
Sennekamp to maybe get a bit of a rest. He hasn't had much starts in his.
Yeah.
Don loves him. Rates him very, very highly.
Don.
I'm just keen to see Venter at the live. Right, so we've got 8, 9, and our 2 wings. We do 8. Does VC go start? Does he get left at home in a bit of a rest?
That was my thinking.
Yeah.
I thought he gets a rest potentially. I think we know what he does.
Yeah.
We know what he does with Kolisi and Peter Steff.
Yeah.
We know how he's in the system. I've got 2 names at 8 though. One will be more conventional, and the other one will be a bit of a weird one.
Mm.
The conventional one is Ulrich Lowe, to see what he can do.
Yeah.
Well, we know what he can do.
The sheriff.
The sheriff.
Yeah.
The unconventional one is Paul de Villiers.
At 8.
It's a Rassie move.
I'll tell you what I think is a World Cup Rassie move coming here. It's Paul de Villiers here.
Yeah.
It's like a
There's throwing in the line out. I think if I was Mark at the start, and I'd be a bit nervous at watching Paul de Villiers being asked to throw a few balls in at the line out.
Yeah.
That's fair. So those were my 2. As I said, one a bit more conventional. What are you thinking, Steve? What have you got there?
I think that you got low Hanekom, your natural options. I don't think we'll try the Kobus visa experiment again. So maybe it will be a visa. You could actually cheat and just put visa there. We've got 2 options to try and get right. My gut says if it's not visa, then Hanekom might get a run. But Brian, you any?
Yeah, I'm with you with either the visa or Hanekom. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would have put Paul de Villiers on the bench actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's put Hanekom here.
Yeah, space for him.
Then we can still put. And I also had him on the bench. I thought they might look at the Kwaka Smith vibe. Okay, number 9 to start here. I personally think Morne is going to get a run from the back.
Okay.
Hasn't played yet, coming back from injury.
I had him on the bench.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian, which you?
Traditionally, Rassie keeps the combos, so that would be Kobus, I think.
You can Kobus with Sasha.
Yeah.
And then...
Because he'll still want to make a bit of a statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is your 9-10 starting. But Grant's been good, eh?
Grant has been good.
Yeah, so I had Moyes starting, Grant on the bench, and leave Ryan at home. So I think we know what... this has been so useful that I wonder if the box actually engineered this for the Stormers. Because having this at club level is disgusting.
That's wild.
So then we'll get to the bench where we'll start 7-2, 6-1s, 8-0s.
Yeah, because we're on track.
Right,
Don't tell Matt Williams.
2 wings. Does Colby travel? Should we wrap up in cotton wool?
I've got Ethan Hooker in
at
one of the
11
positions.
Yeah, that's good. That's good,
I think.
Kirtley on the other.
It was between Kirtley and Edwell because he didn't see much.
At Scotland.
And I think, I don't know, but again, if you're going for a full bore side, maybe you do go to Kirtley or try it and test it. Give him a shout. Steve, tiebreaker. What were your thoughts?
I'd love to see Edville.
Yeah.
My gut says, I think Kirtley or Ches is probably more likely. I suppose it also depends a lot what's going to happen on the bench.
Yeah.
I think Kirtley's probably
It's just a lot of time for them between like this game. And
that's also the awkward thing, in terms of in terms of the resting. While there are still several weeks to rest inverted commas.
So like he could actually play Cheslin there, and then Codie plays for the Bulls.
Yeah, that's the big thing. At this stage, from what we understand, what they've said, it doesn't sound like some of these guys are. I would have liked to have seen some of these guys go back to there, especially the Stormers guys. I would have liked to have seen him playing for the Stormers. Sasha potentially getting a game against the Stormers. At least could have made his debut back at the Stormers there. his second debut. All right, so now bench over here. We're going 6-2 split, 7-1 split here. We've done 2 6-2s and 1 5-3 so far this year, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
So where were you at? You've got Bomb Squad vibes, or you've got?
Yeah, my two backs were Morne van den Berg and then Esterhazen. No, I lie. I had Damien Willemse on the bench actually as well, utility there. So I actually had three, given Andre's hybrid player, so two traditional backs. We know what Damien can do. We know he's in good form, so it's not necessarily prove what you can do. I think it's more a safety if we need the player. But I'm not sure. What are you thinking, Brian, there on the bench?
In terms of the other back?
Yeah. Split.
Or are we going with 6-2 split? Or are we all thinking one squad vibes?
I was thinking 6-2.
Yeah.
6-2. I'm happy with the 6-2.
Because it's really a 5.5.
Well, then we need basically a scrum off.
Yeah.
But having said that, with Sasha just coming back on his first one and Reinach also having a bit of an injury, it might be 5-3. That would actually make more sense.
I personally think having a 10 on the bench is a nice safety net.
Damien fits in the 10.
I don't know if that
or Keon Horn, one of the two.
Ooh, I like that. I like the horn shot. So I think 21. Are we saying Morne or Grant or Herschel Yankees?
Because that's who I had starting actually with Herschel.
I think if Morne's not starting, I think he's on the bench because I think they have to give him game time.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's
everyone else has played. It's getting very far away from me. 19-20. I think that Ben Jason Dixon seems to be the go-to there. We don't have a Franco Mostert here though. So
that's who
my suggestions would be a Mostert, Paul de Villiers potentially.
Yeah. I like that.
Any other suggestions?
No, put PDV there.
And then 22, we're putting a flower half. We're putting a Mani, a Pollard, a Horn.
I think it's between Mani and Horn actually.
Yeah.
From my side, I don't know.
You need fullback cover, but I suppose all three of those back three can play.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about Flowers.
Flowers, Mani,
or Kewen.
Pollard, Horn. So we're thinking between Horn and Mani.
As the guest.
There we go.
Yet deciding.
Get up there.
What did you?
I think Horn. I'm going to go Keon Horn.
Nice. I like it.
I'll tell you what will be interesting with Horn here is combos.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it.
Well, there you go, Rassie.
Got some great rugby names on the board, as well as Rassie there, and the guy below Rassie is quite a good rugby player.
In terms of the selection we're most excited about, I think I'm keen to see Sasha back. We'll do that.
Yeah.
The red card, I don't think we have to give anybody a red card just yet. We'll just this will be old Dave Rennie when he sees Quinn Tupaea coming on, trying to wonder what he's going to do. And this is every single front row whenever they see these three. I think that's just why.
Yeah, that looks good.
Lovely. Well, we've got it there. People, Brian, thank you very much.
Thank you, gents. Thanks for having me.
Wes, good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Hopefully we will see you next week.
Yes, we will.
To everybody else, please make sure you smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Go and check out My Picks, our proud sponsor of the next phase. And next week we'll be back to predicting some scores because we've got All Black game versus the Stormers. So smash like on the video. You can stream this on all the different platforms, including Spotify and the likes of that. Gents, enjoy the rugby season to come. It's getting all very real.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys all very soon.
Exciting.